Doesn't matter the rank. You stop them and you clear the ramp before anybody goes in.
Pay attention. Mr. Samuel, right here, is going to be embarking. He's going to be on the decks with you guys, making sure everything is moving the way it's supposed to. You've already been briefed on how it's supposed to flow. Let's keep the flow nice and slow, slow and steady. Slow and steady works. Any questions?
First Lieutenant Catherine Laws, I'm the Port OIC. So starting yesterday, we're offloading the USNS Loomis in support of African Lion 15. The ship's actually the flagship for the Maritime Prepositioning Ship Squadron 3 in support of PACOM. It was on its way home to do its maintenance offload, so we nabbed it up for this offload in support of the exercise. So the Maritime Prepositioning Force is fielded through Military Sea Lift Command, and they pre-position these large supply vessels all over the globe so that if the Marine Corps needs for large-scale offloads in support of, say, humanitarian efforts, we can pull these ships from the Sea Lift Command and stage them and offload them to help when the MU needs extra support. So for African Lion, we're supporting a ground combat element mainly for reservists that are doing their drill period. And so we're taking off a lot of 7 tons, we're taking off a lot of gun trucks, we've got howitzers coming off, and all of this is going to go down south and support those reservists in their exercise. For my platoon specifically, we have Marines here that have done MPF offloads before, some up to a dozen, and that's a great set of experience to have. We also have new Marines, and for those we've spent about 2 months prepping those new Marines so they understand the concepts of the MPF offload and how it differs from a MU offload. The Marines have been doing a great job. They've really taken to their training. We're being very safe out here, which is obviously one of my main concerns, and absolutely outpacing the rest of the exercise.
My name's Sergeant Scott Pruch. I am the POG NCOIC Port Operation Group. Past couple days have been in preparation for African Lion, prioritizing gear, getting ready for the MPF offload. Now that the vessel's here, we offload non-essential gear, set it aside so we can pull the training gear. Hit or miss is pretty difficult depending on what deck is open at that time. So we'll have to offload about a quarter of the ship just to get to what we're training with. The MPF is a maritime vessel. Its duties, its responsibilities is pretty much to go port to port in support of training operations and to be a quick task force when they're called to offload for a company battalion-sized push all at once. And that's what we're training here today. Some of the assets that we're offloading today: 7 tons, Humvees, break bulk items, i.e. generators, AC units, etc. Just basic sustainment so that we could train with our counterparts in the Moroccans. Training that my Marines have done, we have a thing called BOG. It's a Beach Operation Group. Same concept, same procedures, except different locations, different high-end items. So my Marines train that way, except for my NCOs. My NCOs have been stationed in Okinawa where they're very proficient at onloads of amphibious vessels. My Marines are doing extremely well in regards to the offload. The timelines, we got 48 hours to offload 300 pieces of gear. Pretty simple. They're working through it. We're going to be done in about a day and a half. And other than that, these guys are just trying not to get sunburned.
Colonel Brian Wolford, I'm the CEO of CLR2. What we've been doing, CLR2, we've got Marines from 2nd Transportation Support Battalion, and now we've got Marines from CLB 453 that have joined us. We're downloading the USNS Loomis over at the commercial port, downloading the exercise equipment, and we're transporting over here. Over here on the lot, what we're doing is we're bringing the gear in, doing the cab builds for the armor kits for the MTVRs, running them through maintenance and joint LTIs, and preparing them for issue out to the training.
Yeah, we're over here.
What? Give me the drill with a 9/16 on it.
My name is Sergeant Andres Romero Gomez. I'm with CLR2 2nd TSB. I am a wrecker operator 3536 in support of African Lion. Today we're actually building vehicles. We're building the cabs for those vehicles. Pretty much we're putting the cabs, the doors, and the rim mount for every single vehicle that came off from the naval ship. The beginning stages, the vehicle checks in with us. Once it checks in with us, the first thing, the wrecker operator will hook into the cab. The cab goes onto the vehicle. It gets bolted on. Right after that, it goes into the doors. The doors, we hooked into those doors, put the doors on, and the last step will be the rim mount. And then the final step is making sure every single bolt and nut is in the right place, and then the vehicle takes off. It roughly takes about an hour to an hour and a half. Currently, we have different type of units. We have Marines from CLR2 and Navy Seabees out here supporting us. We also have Marines from 2nd Maintenance Battalion. These trucks are all for the support of the African Lion. Pretty much every single truck that is going through this process will be going down south to support the Moroccan military. We have different units out here. We have a reserve unit, we have artillery unit, infantry unit, and every single one of those units are supporting the Moroccan military. It's actually going pretty good. Every single one of these CBs and Marines, they actually got some type of training back in the rear in the parent command. So every single one of them, it's been doing actually very good.
Lieutenant Junior Grade Zach Seagraves, and I'm the CB's OIC. We're from Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 11. So what we're doing out here is we were requested to assist in all these cab assemblies. We have the skill set for that. We brought a lot of mechanics and what we call equipment operators, and of course our builders and our electricians as well. And so they have a lot of, they're very mechanically inclined, and so that's what they're out here doing, is assisting these Marines in these cab assemblies. So they'll come off the ship, then they'll just get in line. And we got 2 lines going with 2 wrecker cranes. And once they get beside the wrecker, they'll put the cab top on. They'll bolt everything on, make sure it's aligned. Then they'll put the doors on and bolt those on. And then they will put the turret mount on top of the cab. Today we've been picking up speed, and today we're expecting to be the fastest. We're expecting to get around 16 cabs built today, and I think we'll be able to pull it off today. The CBs and Marines, they've been working well together. They built a camaraderie over the past couple of days, working long days. So it's working very well.
That built done, right? Yeah. That built's done, check. JLTI done, check. He's ready to sit down and relax. On the front, driver's side tire. You're talking about your position. Okay?
I know that you come straight to the fridge, go straight to SL3.
Instead of,
It's going to be written on his vehicle.
okay.
The
only other thing that's happening in commercial work will be moving non-exercise equipment from the vessel that's in the way. So it'll be placed on the deck. We'll have accountability of it to make sure that we've collected everything that was in the way, and then at the end of the day, we'll be putting it back on the vessel. When this vehicle is done refueling, all we have to do is hop in line. Also, the Marines will come out and use the CK61 scanners to populate MDSS2.
Bring that piece of gear or that pallet here so they can reload it back up.
Right, and when you go to backload, you just start here and go backwards.
Yes, sir. We'll be able to look through our logbook and figure out like A13 has this amount of gear that we need to go back to that truck. A3, and so on and so forth.
Okay, so you have lanes and you can be able to get the pallet jack.
So once the vehicle enters here at the military port, Lance Corporal Sherman, he'll be our first traffic manager within the port. He'll then direct the vehicle, depending on what it is, 7 times, he'll then direct it over to cab assembly.
Proper spot based on how far it's from the car. Humvees go through the fire lane because they don't need to go through captions. It's all going to be gone.
cab, doors, ring mount evaporable on both sides. Once that truck's complete, it's going to roll out. The next truck's going to drive up, take its place in both sides. Once that's
Lance Corporal Green will pass off to the other traffic managers, bring it up here to Lance Corporal Richard. It would be in the midway of the staging lot.
Once we get it stopped and everything is good, we know everything is done in the vehicle. We mark the tire with an X. That way we know. This vehicle is done.
A J will be marked on it, followed by a check. Once it's been staged, S, check, X on the tire, everything's done with that vehicle.
first stick is going to float beautifully. For anyone that knows how to do this, that has done it before, it's going to hit the fan real quick. Okay? So use your G2, figure the problem out, safely, get it on the lot. Key importance, fire lane open at all times.
Sergeant Brian Seat, out here on the port NCOIC. Alright, so today we had a rehearsal of concepts drill. Pretty much what we do, we take a vehicle, simulate what type of gear we'll be dealing with on the actual offload. We'll run it through the stages and phases that it needs to get through when it's ready to go out for the training exercise or follow-on missions or whatever. Once the truck gets here, it'll arrive at our SL3 warehouse. From there, it'll be unloaded, and we'll track the piece of gear as it comes in. Once it's entered here at the military port, our traffic managers will then ground guide the vehicle through the different phases that it needs. The first stage is going to be a cab assembly for the 7-ton, since they come off the ship without cabs on them. So they'll then go down to cab assembly, where maintenance motor T will assemble the cabs onto that vehicle. Then from there, it'll go into the joint limited technical inspection lot. From there, the owners of that piece of gear will then do an inspection, ensuring everything is up to par, working, no issues with it or anything like that. If there is an issue with that vehicle, the civilian contracted maintenance people, they will then fix those issues on that vehicle, get it ready, get it up and moving. Once that is all done, the vehicle will then go to the staging line, where it will be staged finally and taking accountability for it again. At all times through each lot, it will be taking accountability to ensure that we have accountability of all vehicles and all pieces of gear that come off the ship and within our lot. Well, prior to coming out here, we did about 2 months worth of workup, including several different rock drills for the offload at the commercial port, and then the staging here at the military port for the black bottom ship that we offloaded when we first got here, and in preparation of the MPF ship that's inbound now. We also embarked our own gear out of Blount Island Command down in Florida, got it over here ourselves, and we've done several other port operations within Camp Lejeune itself. So I feel very confident that my Marines will be able to successfully complete this offload with no issues. I mean, it's their job, no one knows it like they do.
First Lieutenant Catherine Laws, I am the port officer in charge. So today with Colonel Bertov and Colonel Wolford, my Marines conducted a rehearsal of concepts drill to basically reify with the Colonel that we understand the plan as it's set forth, that all of my Marines, at each individual, understands the billet that they hold, systems that they need to use, and the process that they need to ensure gets completed for all the vehicles coming from the commercial port, from the MPF vessel, and ultimately that we will be sending to the using units down at Tantan. When the vehicles enter the military port, the first thing that's going to happen is if they need a refuel, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll refuel them using the FRIC. Next thing that's going to happen, if they have SL3 items that need to be disassociated for supplies accountability, they'll remove them in the SL3 warehouse. We'll also take accountability there with multiple intertransit visibility systems to ensure that everyone in the command operating centers are able to see that on their systems. The next thing that's going to happen for the 7 tons will be that they'll receive a cab build assembly. When they come off the ship, they won't have the cabs built up because there's not enough height space. So we'll assemble the cabs there. The next step will be the joint light technical inspections. That will be conducted between our maintenance Marines and the Blount Island Command MIC-MIX, civilian contractors that will ensure that all the vehicles are working properly for the using units for their exercise. Once the joint LTI is complete, the MAGTAF responsible officer will sign for the equipment that will be used during the exercise. And then finally the vehicles will be staged in convoy order based on priority and what MSE they're going to. We planned for this exercise for a little over 6 months, and the platoon itself conducted about 2 months worth of training prior to leaving the States. So I think that the Marines are definitely ready. We've run through this at nauseum, and they know how to speak to their portions and how to act on every billet and every method of accountability that they need to do.